All right, let's talk about money. Today, we're going to break down 10 fundamental financial concepts that, honestly, everyone should understand. They're the building blocks for figuring out how money really works. So let's just dive right in. We're going to kick things off with a question that probably hits a little too close to home for, well, pretty much anyone who's ever had a job. You see that big, exciting number on your offer letter, right? But then, when payday comes, the actual amount that lands in your bank account is a whole lot smaller. So where does all that money go? And that very mystery brings us to our first big idea. What in the world is happening to your money between the second you earn it and the second you can actually spend it? Yeah, it can really feel like that, can it? This frustrating modern ritual where a big chunk of your hard-earned cash just seems to vanish into these invisible forces. Well, those forces have names: federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare. In short, we're talking about taxes. So, what's the deal with taxes anyway? Why do we have them? Well, to put it simply, they're the price we all chip in to live in an organized, functioning society. They're what pay for the roads we drive on, the schools our kids go to, and even the safety inspector who makes sure your favorite food truck is up to code. And here's the thing, taxes aren't just one single thing. They kind of come at you from a bunch of different angles. You've got income tax on what you earn, sales tax on stuff you buy, and capital gains tax if your investments make money. Plus, you're paying into Social Security, which is basically a forced retirement plan, and Medicare to fund healthcare for older folks. Okay, so after the government takes its slice, what happens to the money you actually get to keep? You probably deposit it in a bank, right? But the story doesn't stop there. What does the bank do with your money? Does it just sit there? I think a lot of us have this mental image of a bank as just a giant, secure vault where our money is piled up safely. But the reality is way more dynamic. Your bank is actually more like a financial matchmaker. It only keeps a tiny fraction of your deposit on hand. The rest, it lends out to other people who want to buy a house, start a business, or get a car loan. And this entire matchmaking system? It's all powered by one of the most important concepts in all of finance: interest. The easiest way to think about it is like rent for money. When you borrow money, you pay interest. When you save or lend money, you earn interest. Now, this is the crucial part. Interest has two very different faces. When you're in debt, it is your absolute worst enemy. It's that force that turns a simple $12 burrito on a credit card into a $50 regret. But when you're saving or investing, it becomes your best employee, working for you 24/7 to make your money grow. But wait, it gets even better. There's this one special kind of interest that is so powerful, Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. It's like a financial cheat code, and it's called compound interest. Let me show you how it works. Let's say you invest just $100, a single $100 bill, and then you just leave it alone. You give it some time, maybe 10 years or so with an average market return, and that $100 could become $200. But this is where the magic really starts to happen. That new money you just earned, it starts earning its own money, which is how it can double again to $400 in the next 10 years. See? It's this incredible snowball effect. Your interest starts making its own interest. And that is how small, consistent investments can explode into massive wins over decades. Now, while compound interest is busy trying to build your wealth, there's another much quieter force that's working against you, and that's inflation. It's that feeling you get when your morning coffee costs more than it did last year. The $5 bill in your wallet is still a $5 bill, but its actual purchasing power, what it can buy, has slowly been chipped away. So you've got these forces building your money up, and you've got forces tearing it down. So how do you take control? How do you actually build some real financial strength in this system? Well, you've got to learn the rules of the game. And a great place to start is with a number you've probably heard about 1,000 times: your credit score. The best way to think about it is as your financial report card. It's just a simple 3-digit number that basically tells banks and lenders how trustworthy you are with their money. And what's really interesting is seeing what makes up that score. Look at this. A massive 35%, the biggest slice of the pie, is just your payment history. That's it. It's not about how rich you are, it's about how reliable you are. It's just about paying your bills on time. A good credit score is a seriously powerful tool. It's what helps you achieve huge life goals, like buying a house. And building one isn't some big secret. It really just comes down to 3 simple habits. Pay your bills on time, every time. Keep your credit card balances low, and try not to apply for a ton of new credit all at once. Okay, remember inflation? That sneaky force that's always eating away at the value of your cash? Well, investing is your number one weapon to fight it. This is how you go from just trading your time for money to actually trading your money for more money. You put it to work so it can grow faster than inflation. All right, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. We've talked about all these personal finance ideas, but how do they connect to the much bigger economic forces that are shaping the world all around us? The economy doesn't just go in a straight line up. It moves in cycles. There are these boom times when everything feels amazing, right? Like a huge party. But eventually, the party has to slow down, and that can lead to a bust or a recession. And while it can be really painful, it's a natural part of the economic rhythm. It's like a reset before the next period of growth can begin. This brings us to the really fascinating idea of value. Think about it. A handbag from Target and a handbag from Gucci do the exact same job. They carry your stuff. So why is one thousands of dollars more? Because value isn't just about what something does. It's about what we as humans collectively believe something is worth. It's a social agreement. And that brings us to the final, and I mean the most powerful asset that you have. It's not stocks. It's not gold. It's not even your credit score. It's time. You see, all of these concepts we've talked about, especially that magic of compound interest, are supercharged by time. Real, lasting wealth isn't built overnight. So what's the big takeaway here? The game of finance isn't always won by the smartest person or the person with the biggest paycheck. It's often won by the most patient. It's all about those small, consistent actions, amplified by the incredible power of time, that truly build a strong financial future. So the biggest question really isn't just what you'll do with your money. It's what will you do with your time?